You've been playing for too long. Well, I'm trying to see some.
Hey y'all, it's Beauty Allure and I'm back. Thank you for tuning back in. So today I have two bundles of 12 inches and one 10-inch closure. And today we're doing a lace closure sew-in. So I'm about to start doing this new thing, like wearing sew-ins in the summertime and wigs in the winter because it's dead too hot. So the first thing to get your poppin' sew-in closure is you gotta make an anchor. So I do the loop and pull method. I first start off my anchor at the bottom of the first braid, and then I go through that perimeter layer of the lace closure, and then I just go back and forth in between the back braid and a top braid, and that's how you make your anchor. I know I don't got the best views on this side, so I'm going to do it again on the other side so you guys could get, well, I said so you guys, so you guys could get a better view. Also, you're going to see me keep pulling the closure more to the front. It's because your closure is supposed to be on top of your hairline so that you're able to glue your closure down so it can look as natural as possible. So you're going to keep seeing me pull it forward and stuff, and that's because I want it well above my hairline. And then at the ends of me sewing the other side, you're going to see me pull up the closure and you're just going to see forehead. Alright y'all, so after we did both of our anchors, we're going to sew the perimeter of the closure. You can just sew like one big stitch all around, but since our closure is above our hairline, make sure you do not pull it. Make sure that when you're sewing it, it's snug so it's not moving, but you cannot... Ooh, excuse me y'all, I just yawned. But you cannot pull on it, because if you pull on it, especially when you get to the back, you're going to be pulling your closure backwards. So eventually you'll be able to see your hairline, you know? That's another reason why I put it well above my hairline. Just in case I do pull a little bit, it's not being pulled so much back that you can see my actual hairline. Alright y'all, look at that closure realness, and you see I lifted it up and it's just straight forehead. So first things first, with my needle I always go through the weft, and I always go through the part that is excuse me, that is starting the double weft. I always go through that part. So I go through that part with the needle. I put the needle through my braid. Then I put the needle through that loop that the knot forms. Then I start doing the loop and pull method. So in a few, I'm going to turn to the back so you guys can get a better angle of what I'm doing. Bang. So you can see here, since I do not like braiding the nape of my neck area. So personally, I make my braids come up high. So I'm just braiding at the end of all my braids that get looped up. So I'm sewing the first track under that, just in case you ever do want to pull it up in a ponytail. It is seamless. It's very seamless. The only thing people will see is your little nappies. Now in this piece, For some reason, I don't know why, like after I did this flip over, I noticed that I didn't do the flip over method. I'm so sorry, y'all. I did not do the flip over method like I usually do. This one, this kind of flip over method, I can say I used to do before I learned more about sewing and before I became a stylist. Before I became a stylist and stuff, I just flipped it over and then put the needle under the wefts and under the braid, and then with the thread I just wrapped it around twice and pulled it through. But this is one bundle of hair. As you can see, it is very full. It's a nice color, and it's the same pattern from the root to the tip. So now back to the sewing part. I'm going to take the same thing. We're going to put the needle through the weft. I'm going to sew that weft and then continue to sew our hair. Alright, y'all, so I know I showed y'all this before plenty of times, but I'm gonna keep showing y'all because this is the way that I get like the flattest flip over. So I open up the tracks and I start sewing the one that's closest to my foundation of braids down, and I leave the other one that's not as close. I leave that one free. So now I can show you better. I sew the other one all the way till it gets to the end of the braid. Now in this particular scenario, the thread was too short, so I took it out, tied a knot, and then I with the new needle and thread that I got, I just re-sewed from where the last two braids were, just in case that it gets loose and it pops or something. So I'm re-sewing that now just for extra security. But when I get to the end, since I did one half of the flip over method already, I'm gonna just flip it over. I'm gonna flip it over, and then you put the two tracks on top of where where the old tracks were, and then you sew the one that you sewed first again. And then with the second track that was just dangling it, you pick it up on the way, sewing across to the other side of your head. And just in case right here, your stitch isn't close enough to the hole, because if it's not close enough to that little bumpy hole you guys see where my index finger's right on top, if it's not close enough to that hole, it will gap and it will poke up in front outside of your closure. So make sure that you secure that by going through it. And then after that, you continue on with your sewing. So do not forget to pick up the second track, because if you do not pick it up, you will have a dangling track while the rest of your sewing is intact to your head. So do not forget to pick it up. You see, I'm searching for that second track. I have to make sure that I pick it up, because I do not want one track sewed in and one dangling for dear life. So when I get to the top tracks, I do single wefts because I need it to be as flat as possible. So with everything that I took out was enough for 2 tracks, 2 single tracks. So the first thing I do is I go through the weft. I'm telling you, this is going to be repetitive, but I'm telling you, like, all my clients love the way I do sew-ins. Everyone loves my sew-ins. Everyone thinks they're wigs. I'm like, no, they're sew-ins, baby. Like, they're sew-ins. So put the needle through the weft and don't get as close as you possibly can to this to the closure with this track. Try to place this track right in the middle of the space in between the closure and your last one. This is how you get extra fullness in the top. You put it directly in the space in the middle instead of closer to the space at the bottom. If you put it in the space in the middle, it gives you a really, really, really small place to fit the last track. Now with your last track, finally, I want you, when you make your little flip over this time, I want you to include it through the closure perimeter and connect it to the braids. This is going to make everything look like everything. You are going to be able to do every style with this because the tracks are basically right under your closure. Like, they will not be able to see anything. So just continue to watch as I go around the perimeter. And luckily for me, I had just enough 2 bundles to do this. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. Like this video if you liked it. Share it with your friends and your family. Anybody you know that is very fond of sew-ins. And if you like this hair, comment down below. But right now I'm just doing some closure customization. You can do a lot of things to customize this closure. But this is not a styling video. This is just a sewing video. So if you guys are new, do not forget to subscribe and hit that bell. And I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.